Poland closed its eastern border with Belarus to trucks from both Belarus and Russia on Thursday. The ban applies to trucks, tractors, trailers, and semi-trailers registered in one of the countries. On Monday, the Polish Interior Ministry announced restriction on freight traffic. It is widely seen as retaliation for the Belarusian Supreme Court's recent decision to uphold the conviction of Andrzej Poczobut, a Polish-Belarusian activist who was sentenced to 8 years in prison in February for inciting hatred. Poczobut, a 50-year-old reporter for the Polish media, was sentenced in February. Soon after the verdict, Warsaw closed the Bobrowniki border crossing, and Minsk retaliated by making border crossing more difficult for Polish trucks. Poland then closed the Kukuryki-Koroszczyn border crossing for trucks from Belarus. The Polish minority in Belarus numbers around 300,000 people. In March, Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki denounced the 10-year prison sentence handed down to Ales Białacki, a veteran Belarusian activist and Nobel laureate. In February, a day after the Belarusian court issued the original 8-year sentence against Poczobut, Poland moved to close the Polish-Belarusian border crossing in Bobrowniki, one of the main crossing points between the two countries, in the interest of national security. Poland then introduced further restriction on freight traffic through the border with Belarus. According to news outlets, Poland's Interior Ministry said at the time that if Andrzej Poczobut is released, the crossings will be reopened. On February 17, the Belarusian authorities said Polish trucks would be able to enter and leave Belarus through Polish-Belarusian crossings only, meaning they would not be able to use Belarus crossing with Lithuania and Latvia, according to officials. At the moment, Polish trucks are only allowed to enter Belarus through the Kukuryki-Kozłowice border crossing, the only currently functioning road border crossing for freight vehicles between Poland and Belarus. On February 20, Poland's Kamiński announced that effective from the next day, Poland would limit freight traffic from Belarus through the Kukuryki-Kozłowice border crossing as a retaliatory move. Under the new rules, freight traffic through Kukuryki-Kozłowice is restricted until further notice to vehicles registered in Poland, other European Union countries, and the member states of the European Free Trade Association, which brings together Iceland, Norway, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. Until now, trailers registered in other countries, including Belarus, but pulled by vehicles registered in Poland, were allowed to pass through Kukuryki-Kozłowice accordings. Poland accuses Belarus of artificially creating a migrant crisis on the border by flying people from the Middle East and Africa and attempting to push them across the frontier.